I never planned to marry a stranger. That was something that happened to other people, characters in melodramatic films or distant relatives in old-fashioned families. But when your mother is dying and her dying wish is to see you settled, you find yourself signing papers you don't understand in a sterile office building downtown, your hand trembling so violently the notary has to steady it. My mother, Vivian Lennox, had been my entire world since my father Charles abandoned us. His investment firm collapsed in a spectacular scandal, embezzlement, affairs with junior executives, the whole sordid tale splashed across financial news channels. The stress triggered Mom's kidney disease, and now she drifted in and out of consciousness in a private hospital room that drained my savings with every beep of the monitors. "Honey," she'd whispered 3 weeks ago, her voice paper-thin, "I don't know how much time I have left. All I want is for you to marry into the Blackwood family. They'll protect you when I'm gone." The Blackwoods. Old money. Steel and shipping empire spanning 3 continents. I'd met Grandfather Blackwood once at a charity gala, 80 years old, sharp as a blade, with eyes that seemed to measure your worth in a single glance. He'd taken a peculiar interest in me after my father's scandal, perhaps seeing a damsel in distress worthy of his family's rescue. As long as it makes her happy, I'd told myself, arranging my face into what I hoped was a convincing smile. It's just a contract, not a real marriage. The groom, Ethan Blackwood, was conspicuously absent. His attorney, a skeletal man named Mr. Ashford, handled everything. "Mr. Blackwood is currently abroad on business," Ashford explained, sliding documents across the mahogany desk. "He'll return when his schedule permits." 2 years passed. 2 years of monthly deposits into my account, of terse emails from Ashford about marital obligations that consisted solely of not embarrassing the Blackwood name. 2 years of my mother occasionally opening her eyes to ask, "Have you met him yet?" and me lying through my teeth. Then the phone call came at 2:47 a.m. "Miss Lennox," Ashford's voice crackled through the speaker, "Mr. Blackwood has returned. He wishes to discuss termination of the arrangement." The word hit like a physical blow. Divorce. Of course. The fairy tale was ending before it began. I should have been relieved. Instead, I felt hollow. The dinner party that changed everything was supposed to be a celebration. My design firm, Sterling Interiors, had just secured the restoration contract for the historic Regency Hotel. I drank too much champagne, 3 flutes, maybe 4, toasting our success, laughing too loudly, the alcohol burning away the ache of my impending divorce. I remember a man in the hotel bar. Dark hair. Sharp jaw. Eyes the color of storm clouds. He wore a tailored suit that probably cost more than my car. We talked about architecture, about the way light moves through space, about loneliness disguised as ambition. When he touched my hand, electricity shot up my arm. The next morning, I woke in a penthouse suite, naked and alone, with a note on the pillow, "Forgive me. E." and a corporate ID badge on the nightstand. Blackwood Enterprises. CEO, Ethan Blackwood. The world tilted on its axis. My one-night stand was my husband. The stranger who'd kissed me like I was oxygen and he was drowning was the same man who'd been paying my mother's medical bills for 2 years. I pocketed the badge before my assistant Zoe could see it. Zoe Morgan had been my roommate since college, my right hand at Sterling, the sister I'd never had. She'd held my hair back when I cried over my father's betrayal, helped me move my mother into the care facility, brought me coffee during 70-hour work weeks. She knew everything about me. Almost everything. "Where were you last night?" Zoe asked when I stumbled into our shared apartment, still wearing yesterday's dress. I looked everywhere after the party. "Too much to drink," I mumbled, filling a glass with tap water. "Passed out in one of the hotel's guest rooms upstairs." "Must have been some party." She eyed me suspiciously. "You look like you've been thoroughly entertained." "Don't start. Just don't make me late for the client meeting." "Speaking of which, where's my ID badge? Did you get it laminated like I asked?" My blood ran cold. The badge. Ethan's badge. I'd left it in the hotel room. "I think I lost it," I whispered. Zoe's face hardened. "Seriously, Mary? Why can't you do anything right?" I didn't tell her that the badge was currently sitting on a marble countertop in a $5,000 a night suite, nestled beside a note from a man who didn't know he'd just slept with his own wife. The client meeting was at Blackwood Tower, 60 stories of glass and steel piercing the downtown skyline. I wore my most professional sheath dress, hair pulled back so tight it gave me a headache, trying to look like a woman who hadn't just committed accidental adultery with her own husband. Mr. Blackwood is a very important man, my boss Ted warned in the elevator. He doesn't usually bother with residential projects. This is a favor to his grandfather. Don't screw it up. The doors opened to a penthouse office with floor-to-ceiling windows. And there he was. Ethan Blackwood, the stranger from the hotel. My husband. My stomach dropped into my shoes. He looked up from his desk, his gaze sweeping over me with zero recognition. Miss Lennox. I forced my voice to work. That's me. Lead designer at Sterling Interiors. He studied me, head tilted. You look familiar. Common face, I blurted. Very generic. His lips twitched. I doubt that. The meeting was a blur. I presented sketches, talked about spatial flow and natural light, all while my mind screamed that this man had seen me naked, had tasted my skin, had whispered my name in the dark, and didn't remember a thing. Impressive work, he said finally, tapping his finger against the armrest. I'd like to see preliminary designs by Monday. Absolutely. I stood too quickly, knocking my portfolio to the floor. Sketches scattered everywhere. As I bent to retrieve them, his hand brushed mine. The same electric current. His eyes narrowed. Have we met before? At the Regency, perhaps? I did the restoration work. Not there. He leaned closer, his cologne sandalwood and something darker, making my head spin. Somewhere else. My phone saved me, buzzing with Zoe's name. I need to take this. In the hallway, Zoe's voice was ice. Mary, I quit. What? You can't. I already did. Found a better position. Pays more than being your assistant. The line went dead. I stared at the screen, reeling. First my husband, now my best friend. The ground felt like it was dissolving beneath my feet. Ethan's assistant Kevin appeared at my elbow. Miss Lennox? Mr. Blackwood would like to offer you Zoe Morgan's position. Triple the salary. I should have said no. Should have run far away from this tangled web. Instead, I heard myself say, when do I start? That night, Grandfather Blackwood called. Sebastian, Ethan's home, Mary. Come for dinner. It's time you two finally met. Sebastian. He'd been using a false name at the hotel. Of course. I'll be there, I said, my voice hollow. At least he hadn't recognized me. At least I had the job. The Blackwood estate was a fortress of old money, ivy-covered walls, wrought iron gates, a driveway so long it required its own zip code. Grandfather greeted me with a bear hug that smelled of pipe tobacco and power. You've lost weight, he clucked, leading me into a library lined with leather-bound books. How's work? Any trouble? I actually just got promoted, I told him, the irony bitter on my tongue. Closed a major deal with a new client. Wonderful. If you need anything, you tell me. He poured 2 whiskeys, hands steady despite his 87 years. Now, where's that grandson of mine? Ethan's mother, Victoria, glided into the room like a ghost in Chanel. She'd been beautiful once, before her husband's infidelities carved lines of permanent disappointment into her face. He's busy, she said coolly. He might not come tonight. Grandfather's face darkened. What could be so urgent that the CEO himself has to handle it? It's fine, I intervened, sensing the storm brewing. We'll meet when he's free. But Grandfather was already dialing. You little punk. I don't care what you're doing. Get home now. 30 minutes later, Ethan walked through the door. Our eyes met. His widened in shock, then narrowed with dawning horror. It's you. My heart stopped. Mr. Blackwood. What are you doing here? This is my home. He took a step forward, voice low and dangerous. You're the woman from the Regency. Grandfather looked between us. You two have met? We've. Ethan's jaw tightened. We've crossed paths. The dinner was excruciating. Ethan stared at me with a mixture of fury and something else, something that made heat pool in my stomach. I excused myself to the restroom, splashing water on my face. When I emerged, Ethan was waiting in the hallway. He held out my necklace, the delicate silver chain I'd left in the hotel room. "You dropped this." I snatched it, my fingers brushing his palm. "Thank you. Mr. Blackwood, you said I looked familiar. Have we never met?" He cut in. "I just noticed details. It's a habit." Back at the table, grandfather beamed. "Sebastian, Mary brought you a gift." He produced a box. Inside was a silk tie, Ethan's preferred brand, which I'd noticed in his office. His expression softened infinitesimally. "How did you know?" "Lucky guess." Victoria's eyes glittered with suspicion. So thoughtful for a woman who's never met her husband. The words hung in the air like a blade. After dinner, grandfather cornered me. "Stay the night. The room's ready." "Thank you, but I have plans." I needed to check on Zoe. He pressed a key into my hand. "Just in case. Sebastian will be here." In the car, my phone buzzed. Zoe's name again. I ignored it. Something felt off, her sudden resignation, the timing. My instincts screamed. The next morning, I arrived at Blackwood Tower early. Ethan's office was unlocked. On his desk sat a velvet box. Inside was a bracelet, "Forever in Love," inscribed on the platinum clasp. Admiring my purchase? Ethan leaned in the doorway, coffee in hand. "It's beautiful. For someone special. My wife." The word was bitter. "Though we're divorcing soon." My breath caught. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. It was a business arrangement that ran its course." He studied me. "You seem invested in my marriage, Miss Lennox." "Just professional curiosity." He moved closer, close enough that I could see the gold flecks in his eyes. "You designed jewelry in college, didn't you?" "How did you?" "I researched my employees thoroughly." His voice dropped. "I know you studied at Parsons. I know you speak 3 languages. I know your mother is at St. Catherine's Hospital. You investigated me?" Standard procedure. But his gaze lingered on my lips. Though some things weren't in the file. My phone rang, Zoe again. I silenced it. "Problem?" "Just my former assistant. She quit rather dramatically." Ethan's expression shuddered. "Zoe Morgan. She contacted me yesterday. Said she had information about my wife." Ice crystallized in my veins. "What kind of information?" "Personal matters." He turned away. "If you'll excuse me, I have a call." That afternoon, Zoe showed up at Sterling Interiors. She looked different, designer handbag, heels that cost more than my rent. "Nice office," she sneered. "How's the new job? How's the new apartment in Hyde Park?" "I know you can't afford that on an assistant salary." Her smile was sharp as broken glass. "I found a rich boyfriend." "That's what adults do, they upgrade." "Who is he, Zoe? Wouldn't you like to know?" She leaned close, her perfume cloying. "Stay away from Blackwood, Mary. He's mine. He's a client. He's a lot more than that." She flounced out, leaving a cloud of suspicion. I followed her. Down the street, around the corner, to a sleek black town car. The window rolled down. Ethan sat in the back, his face unreadable. Zoe bent to kiss his cheek. He didn't pull away. My world shattered. I called Grandfather Blackwood. "I need to discuss the divorce. Can we meet Saturday?" "Of course, my dear. I'll have Ethan there." But Ethan was busy with Zoe. The man who'd touched me like I was precious was touching someone else. Saturday arrived. I dressed in black, mourning a marriage that had never begun. The Blackwood estate felt like a tomb. Grandfather hugged me. "Mary, you're shaking." "I'm fine." My voice was steady. "Just ready to get this over with." Victoria swept in, her face triumphant. "Sebastian's dealing with something important. He can't talk now." "That's fine. I just need his signature. I'll make sure he gets it." She tried to steer me toward the door. But grandfather's phone rang. He listened, then his face purpled. "Sebastian Alexander Blackwood, you get out here right now." Ethan emerged from the study, Zoe on his arm. Her smug smile died when she saw me. "What's she doing here?" she hissed. "That's my wife," Ethan said flatly. The silence was deafening. Zoe recovered first, her voice syrupy sweet. "Oh, Mary. I didn't realize. Ethan and I are just." "Save it." I pulled the divorce papers from my bag. "Sign these, and you can be with whoever you want." Ethan's jaw clenched. You want this divorce so badly? You've made your choice clear. Grandfather snatched the papers. Nobody's signing anything. Sebastian, explain yourself. It's complicated. You're married, yet you're parading this woman around? Victoria's voice rose. Just like your father. Ethan's face went white. I'm nothing like him. Prove it. Grandfather shoved the papers back at me. Both of you sit. We're sorting this now. In the chaos, Zoe slipped away. I found her in the garden, smoking. How long? I asked. Since the hotel. She exhaled smoke. He thought I was you. My stomach heaved. You knew? About the marriage. I've known for months. Ashford's office isn't as secure as they think. She ground out her cigarette. You don't deserve him, Mary. Your family's a mess. Your father's a criminal, your mother's dying. What can you offer a man like Ethan? The truth. Which is more than you can. I walked away, pulling out my phone. Mr. Ashford? Draft the divorce papers. I'll sign whatever Ethan wants. But fate had other plans. Monday morning, St. Catherine's Hospital called. Mom had taken a turn. Acute kidney failure. She needed a transplant immediately. I got tested. I was a match. But the pre-op screening revealed something else. Something impossible. I was pregnant. 2 weeks along. Exactly the right timing. The ultrasound tech looked at me with pity. You're early enough to terminate and still donate. But you'd have to decide today. My mother, who'd sacrificed everything for me. My baby, conceived in a night of passion with a man who was divorcing me. I called Ethan. I need to talk. Meet me at my office. When I arrived, Zoe was there, crying. Ethan, please. I'm pregnant. It's yours. The room spun. What? Ethan's face was stone. She's lying. The test says otherwise. Zoe held up a sonogram. Where did you get that? I whispered. From your purse. You left it at the house. Her smile was pure venom. I switched the labels. The world narrowed to a pinpoint. My baby. My secret. My choice stolen. Ethan moved so fast I didn't see it. He grabbed Zoe's arm. Get out. Ethan. Now. She fled, but the damage was done. Is it true? He asked me, his voice breaking. Are you pregnant? Yes. And it's mine. Yes. He sank into his chair. The night at the Regency. That was you. It was always me. The silence stretched between us, filled with 2 years of missed connections and near misses. My mother needs a kidney, I said quietly. I'm the only match. But if I donate, I lose the baby. Ethan's head snapped up. No. I have to choose. I'll find another donor. He was on his feet, pacing. I have resources. We'll fly in specialists. You are not terminating my child. Your child. The words tasted like ash. You were going to divorce me. That was before I knew you. He stopped, facing me. Before I fell in love with the woman who understands my grandfather, who brings my mother flowers even when she doesn't deserve them, who designs homes with her soul. The tears came then, hot and fast. What about Zoe? She tampered with your car. The accident last week? That was her. She drugged you at the bar. My security team has proof. My knees buckled. Ethan caught me, his arms the only solid thing in a spinning world. She wanted everything you had, he murmured against my hair. But she could never be you. The divorce papers burned in my bag. I pulled them out. Ethan took them, ripped them in half. We're not getting divorced. We're getting married. For real this time. Grandfather Blackwood's heart attack happened that night. Stress, the doctors said. Too much excitement. In his hospital room, he held our hands, his grip surprisingly strong. You two would figure it out, he wheezed. Just needed a push. Victoria stood in the corner, her face unreadable. But when Ethan stepped out, she approached me. My son chose you, she said quietly. Don't make him regret it. I won't. And Mary? Her voice cracked. Thank you for the lilies. Even though I'm allergic. I stared. I never sent lilies. Her eyes narrowed. Zoe did. Claimed they were from you. The final piece clicked into place. Zoe hadn't just tried to steal my husband. She'd tried to poison his family against me. The police found her at the airport, One-way ticket to Geneva. She drained my bank accounts, forged my signature on loans, and was carrying another man's child, a tennis instructor from her gym. In the interrogation room, she looked small. "You have everything, Mary. I just wanted something for myself." "You had my friendship," I said. "That was real. Friendship doesn't pay for a penthouse." Ethan's lawyers recovered most of the money. More importantly, they found a kidney donor, a perfect match through Blackwood Enterprises' Global Health Initiative. My mother woke from her coma 3 days after the transplant, her first words, "Did you meet him yet?" I placed her hand on my still flat stomach. I met them both. The real wedding was small, just family. Grandfather walked me down the aisle, his oxygen tank tucked discreetly behind a column of white roses. Lily was my maid of honor, her earlier suspicions melted into fierce loyalty. Victoria even managed to smile, though she left the reception early. Ethan and I moved into the penthouse he'd been designing, our penthouse now. He showed me the hidden room behind the library, where he'd kept every sketch I'd ever left in his office, every article about sterling interiors, a photo of me at a charity gala 2 years ago. "I've known who you were since the day we married," he admitted. "Ashford sent me your file. I fell in love with your picture, your work. When I came back to town, I went to the Regency hoping to accidentally meet you. But you were drunk and beautiful, and I was a coward. I left before you woke up because I thought you'd hate me for the arranged marriage." I kissed him then, tasting 2 years of loneliness dissolving. "I could never hate you. You're the stranger who made me whole." Our daughter, Vivian Rose, was born 7 months later, early but fierce. Ethan held her like she was made of starlight. "She has your eyes. And your stubbornness," I laughed. Grandfather held her next, his tears falling on her blanket. A Blackwood and a Lennox. The best of both. Victoria came around eventually. It was her who found Zoe's final betrayal. The lilies had been ordered from a shop near Zoe's apartment, paid for in cash, but caught on security camera. She brought the footage to me herself. "I misjudged you," she said. "I thought you were another opportunist. But you love him. Even when you thought he was cheating, you brought him a tie." "The tie was for my husband," I said simply. "I just didn't know they were the same person." She smiled then, a real smile that reached her eyes. "Welcome to the family, Mary." Officially. Zoe was sentenced to 5 years for fraud, attempted vehicular manslaughter, and identity theft. I visited her once, holding Vivian through the glass. "She's beautiful," Zoe said, her voice hollow. "She's ours. Not stolen. Not borrowed. I never meant to hurt you. But you did." I stood. "When you get out, start over. But don't ever contact us again." She nodded, tears streaming. In that moment, I pitied her. She'd mistaken possession for love, things for happiness. Ethan and I built Sterling Interiors into Blackwood Design, a luxury firm that specialized in healing spaces, homes for families recovering from trauma, like ours. Lily became our CFO, her sharp mind perfect for business. Derek, Zoe's brother, managed our construction teams. He'd been the one to save my life years ago, pulling me from a car wreck before my father's scandal broke. We'd been connected all along, threads of fate weaving us together. On our 5th anniversary, Ethan took me back to the Regency Hotel. He'd bought it, renovated the penthouse exactly as it had been that night. "I need to rewrite that memory," he whispered, drawing me into his arms. "Make it one where I stay. And if I'd been sober?" I teased. "I'd have still fallen for you. It just might have taken longer." He kissed me then, and it was like the first time and the last time and every moment in between. The stranger who'd become my husband, who'd become my everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Grandfather, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." I laughed, showing Ethan. "He's been sending me the same message for 5 years," Ethan said. "I think he's hoping for another grandchild. Maybe later." I pulled him toward the bedroom. "Right now, I want to be alone with my stranger. The man I'd married by contract. The stranger I'd loved by accident. The husband I'd chosen with my whole heart." In the end, the ID badge hadn't just exposed a secret identity. It had revealed that sometimes the person you're searching for is the one you've had all along. And that love, real love, isn't found in contracts or convenience. It's found in the moment you choose to stay, even when running would be easier. It's found in the stranger who becomes home.